Tonight actually I will give you guys a final exam. Final exam. So we have actually for the final this is the best one. So I will leave actually the latest. So the final exam we have 6 questions, and it cover almost all areas. So I will talk about the final exam if we have time tonight. If we have time tonight, I will talk about final exam each question briefly, right? So then final exam will be due the midnight of next Monday. So I will post the final exam actually after today's lecture.
So do we have to come to class next Monday?
You should. Yes. Next Monday we have class. I will talk about mortgage-backed security. So we
are going to be on that. Those what you go over on Monday is going to be on the final.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, that's actually for your project. And next Monday's class, that's actually no, it won't be in the final exam.
Okay.
Yes, but if some of you if you want to work in like investment banking, right? So next Monday I will cover more. Look.
Hey.
Starting last month, every lecture I have a present. Wow, that's 10 years. That's what that's actually most of it. That's actually ours. Thank you. Where did you get it?
In the Christmas party.
No, actually you. Oh, okay, I will keep it. Actually, I will talk about tonight. It will be due in the midnight of next Monday. So be sure, midnight of next Monday. So basically, you roughly you have 1 week time to finish, right? But for the quiz, I already see actually a few students. Actually, majority of students already done the quiz. I'm very happy with the performance. So based on the student already finished the quiz, right? I want to give you actually some numbers. We roughly have about 40 students. 40 students at least finish one, roughly. We have 56 students total. So basically, majority of students already finished. It's try one, at least try one attempt, right, for the quiz. So we have 3 students who got 100. 100, we have 3 students. The number of students, right? Number of students. So I sent a few days ago. I sent an email to you guys. The first student who tried the quiz got 100, and she's an online student. So basically, she's in Canada. She lives in Canada, so she got actually 100. Corporate finance. She also first. I post. She is the first student to try, and she got 100. So she is a very, very excellent student. So, but we do have actually, a total roughly about 40 students. Actually, 3 students receive, 100. Then next, only one mistake. Like for me, actually, 98 is basically is also perfect score because for me, actually, what I did, right? Because I know the answer key, right? Because I made the quiz. First try, I got 100. Second try, I got 98. So 98 to me is 100, right? So we have 7 students. 98. So this class is incredible, right? So basically, they're 96, right? To me, is also perfect score. 96. Then we have 3 students. Right? So we have about 90, right? Then we have another maybe 10 students. Right? So medium score, medium is 92, based on the student already tried. So that's actually very good. So now we have roughly about 9 students, about like 85, 9 students. Fine. So for me, if your quiz score is 85 or above, you are 8 students. 8 students, not A minus. You are 8 students. Right. So for me, actually, I'm very happy with you guys' performance. So because of getting, the quiz, right? I thought the quiz is lots of questions is not easy, right? But you do such good job, right? So now it's just the final exam. You will see. I will push you even more. Right. So final exam we have 6 questions, right? So I tell you guys actually the midterm exam, you guys do a good job, right? But the final always much more challenging, right? So I will talk about late tonight about our final. So what else? So for the quiz, this Wednesday, is midnight of this Wednesday, right? Is the deadline. So if you must do it, otherwise the quiz will be gone, right? This Wednesday. But the final exam I will post after today's class, right? So now actually you can actually but you have 1 week time to finish. So as I said, if you guys actually basically roughly you already know what you will get, right, for this class, right? Is that right? Because if some of you already attempted the quiz, and about 85 if you do the midterm or because final exam is about 35%, right? So if you miss up a final, even though you got the above 85 quiz, 95 above 95 in the midterm exam, you may not get an A, right? Because if you quiz missed up, you got 80 or 80 below, right? You might get like a B plus, right? So it's important that people continue to do good work, right? Then actually finally you will get the A in this class. Right? Okay, so today actually I want to talk about mortgage-backed security. That is very fun, part of, for some of you, if you think about mortgage-backed, it must be pricing mortgage-backed, it must be very difficult, right? Because but if you took corporate finance from me, right, pricing everything is easy. Time value of money, is that right? How you can price bond? Time value of money, sum of the future payments, right? It's the price of the bond. Stock same, right? The pricing of mortgage-backed is also very easy. For me actually, maybe first 5 minutes, you will know actually very overview of the mortgage-backed security. But if you are, for me actually, first 5 minutes, if you're really good at the time value of money, first 5 minutes, basically you are done for this class. You are expert on mortgage-backed, pricing mortgage-backed security. Right? So I will want to use 5 minutes to talk about mortgage, how I can present mortgage-backed security. Okay, so the way I present the mortgage-backed security is very different compared with other professors, right? So for me actually, I want to stand a very high look, right? Just 5 minutes, and then you know exactly what mortgage-backed security is, right? So now I start from now. What is mortgage-backed security, right? So everybody understands the mortgage, is that right? So for the mortgage-backed security, first of all, I want to actually use this picture because I use it very often, right? So today actually, because we spend so much time talk about the mortgage, right? So now actually everybody has, you can feel, right, the primary mortgage market. So this actually is the mortgage market, including both the primary mortgage market and the secondary mortgage market, right? So for the primary mortgage market, everybody knows, right? Home buyers. You want to buy a house, but you don't have enough money. So you must talk to the bank and ask them to lend the money to you, right? So this is the primary mortgage market. So primary mortgage market, right, is because you want to take a loan, right? And then you get the money from the bank. The bank will evaluate your credential, right? They will look at your credit score or other things, income or other things, right? So this is the primary mortgage market. But the primary mortgage, there is an issue, right? Because if you look at, if you live in Mississippi, right? That's actually, I spent 2 years over there. Some Mississippi area is very poor. The medium income, only like a household income is only like maybe less than $30,000. So even the Mississippi people, right? Because it's simply their income is so low, right? Even though the living cost is very low. When I was there, I spent my monthly rent. I live in bigger house on campus. Mississippi State University campus. And somebody, cut out glass because I have a very big playground. But the rent only less than like $650. It's more than one floor, lots of rooms, and more than 2,400 like square feet, right? But the rent is only less than $630. Right? It's very cheap. But in Mississippi, because the people simply because even though the rent or the food is very cheap, but simply because they make not much money, after they pay utility or other things, right? They are not much left. So Mississippi Bank, right? The local bank, they don't have much deposit. So now actually, if you live in Mississippi, you want to buy a house, right? So the bank, if the money all came from deposit, right? Then actually maybe a few loans. Other, people want to buy a house, they cannot get that loan, right? But I actually in Orange County. That's actually I spent 4 years in Orange County, right? The place I live in Yobalinda, that's actually former President Kennedy actually. Not Kennedy, actually Nixon actually was born there. So I have a house about half a mile from the place Nixon was born. Just because I like that area, so I keep the house. I always I have members, right? Family members. So I always go to when I was there, I always went to a Nixon library. But Yobalinda, if you check, right, that's one of the in terms of medium income, one of the highest in the nation, right? In 2010, like medium family household income is more than like maybe 100,000 or 120,000, right? But that average people, right? Even though the home price is very expensive, but because simply family income is so high, right? Regardless of how they spend, they still have lots of money. So the bank in Orange County, right? They have lots of deposits, right? So the people actually, want to buy a house in Orange County, right? Even though home price is very expensive, right? Because simply the bank has so much deposit, right? If you want buy a house, I can have the bank has the money for you to borrow, right? But Mississippi is different, right? So now this primary mortgage is the better things, right? Because the local bank in Orange County cannot ship the money because the U.S. government cannot tell them, right? Ship the money. You have enough money, right? Give the money to the bank in Mississippi because the United States cannot do it, right? That's the U.S. government cannot tell anybody, any individual or corporation to do any, right? So now actually, the Congress, actually, I said actually in early 1930s, right, they created Fannie Mae. Then actually, what they do, right? I cannot order the bank in Orange County, right, ship the money to bank in Mississippi. But they created Fannie Mae. They do basically what they did essentially is please ship the money over there, right? That's what they want to do, right? So how? Now it's Fannie Mae in created 1930s, right? That's during the Great Depression. So when Fannie Mae created, what they do, right? Fannie Mae actually hire a bunch of people, actually, economists, and then actually, come up with some called lending guideline. What kind of people can borrow the money, right? So then actually, that's the kind of red book gave actually the bank in Mississippi or Orange County, right? So Mississippi bank got the actually lending guideline from Fannie Mae, right? So if Fannie Mae completely, if the bank in Mississippi completely follow, a lending guideline from Fannie Mae, right? Then actually they gave the loan, right? Approve the loan to a certain group of borrowers, right? Applicants, right? Then maybe for a bank in Mississippi, assume there's 5 loans, right? After they use their own money for 5 loans. After 5 loans, because simply deposit not much, right? Then actually use up all their funds, right? Five people got the loan, right? Then because The bank in Mississippi, they don't have money anymore because they all lend the money out for 5 loans, right? Then what do? They can sell the mortgage to Fannie Mae, right? They can sell it because of why they can sell, and Fannie Mae has to purchase it without any conditions. Only condition is actually, the Mississippi bank they follow Fannie's lending. That's the only condition, right? What kind of borrower you should approve it, right? Then actually, after 5 loans, right, they don't have any money left, right? Then actually, but they can sell the loan to Fannie Mae. Fannie Mae purchase, right? Then actually they get the new money, right? Then actually they can continue, right? So all the people, if you are qualified, right, based on Fannie's lending guideline, all the people in Mississippi, they can get the money. Where the money came from? Fannie Mae. That's right. So now it's a question. Because Fannie Mae cannot create money, right? Fannie Mae cannot. So the goal is Fannie connected with Wall Street, right? Wall Street. So Wall Street is there are lots of investors, right? International investors. The investors came from China, came from government, and individual investors came from Europe, European government, right? So now how actually Fannie can do this, right? So this place we'll talk about mortgage-backed security, right? So because Fannie has purchased bigger pool for the mortgage, right? From the local bank in Mississippi or other places, right? So now what do they do? Because pool of the mortgage, there's value, right? Because the pool of mortgage generates cash flow. Can anybody tell me why pool of the mortgage has value? Because the borrower, every month afterwards, the borrower gives the money to you, right? So the pool of the mortgage every month generates the cash flow for the mortgage payment, right? Of course, they have value, right? So Fannie Mae bundle together, right? Then sell the core security called backed by mortgage pool, right? To Wall Street. Yes.
Does the bank service the loan?
Yes. I will talk about it. So now the question, can anybody tell me, why like IBM has value, right? Now everybody knows on Facebook, right? Because Facebook, right? Because Facebook as a company generates revenue, right? Same thing. Mortgage, right? Why mortgage, back security has value, right? Because the borrower, because underlying is thousands actually the borrower. Every month they pay mortgage, right? Mortgage payments, right? So that's why this security has value. Same thing as like a stock, right? So now I want to tell you actually today the key how how you do like a mortgage back, because there are so many different kinds of like mortgage back security, right? So now I want to tell you today how we can design. That's very, very simple. I will talk about in a minute, right? So now look and see. This, right, about here. Fannie Mae is the player. Because we have actually multiple choice in the quiz, right? How many actually answer the question correctly? So Fannie Mae is secondary player, main player in secondary mortgage market, right? That's right. Because Fannie Mae connect with bank and Wall Street. That's right. Fannie Mae connected with the Wall Street and the bank, all banks, right? So capital flow. That's right. So can you tell me if like a certain bank, right? Certain bank, Fannie Mae is actually only play in secondary mortgage market. Because if you tell Fannie Mae, can I borrow money directly from you? No, the answer is no. But lots of banks, the money is actually came from Fannie Mae, right? Lots of banks, the money came from Fannie Mae. So when you purchase a house, right? If you set the Fannie's lending guideline, the money actually originally is from Fannie Mae, right? That's right. But Fannie Mae cannot directly lend the money to you. They must through the bank. But now, if bank is large enough, right? They can be for the bank, right? They may be a player in the primary mortgage market. Why? Because the bank lends the money to the borrower, right? The bank also can play in secondary mortgage market. Why? Because if the bank have hold a pool of the mortgage. One day they want to sell it, right? They could initiate, create like a mortgage-backed security, sell it to the Wall Street, right? So listen, Fannie Mae, they can only play in secondary mortgage market. They can not allow to play in the primary mortgage market. The borrower cannot directly borrow the money from the bank, only through banks, right? But a bigger bank, right? They can lend the money to the borrower. They can also play in the secondary market. They sell the mortgage-backed security to Wall Street, then secondary market, right? So today's lecture, actually, I will focus on how we can actually, how actually the mortgage-backed is created, right? This is one question we need to ask. Then actually how it's created, then come up with different type of mortgage-backed security, right? So today we will talk about two type of mortgage-backed security, right? So next Monday we'll talk about another one, more interesting one or more complex one, right? Then I will talk about how we can price mortgage-backed security, right? So I have actually, Excel files actually. I already posted in our course website. So this week, last week I spent after last Monday's lecture, right? I spent almost all time and created all this, this is Excel. So how many actually have seen this Excel? No. How many actually do you have lecture notes? When did you print out the lecture notes? Long time ago?
Yesterday.
Oh, good. Yesterday, that's good. Because I changed. Lots of change, right? So now, look, now actually I want to talk about, 2 days ago, actually we want to finish, actually, I will talk about two types of mortgage-backed security, and I will talk about how we can price mortgage-backed security, right? So before I talk about this, first type of, we call a mortgage pass-through security, right? So I want to give you an overview of, bigger picture of how mortgage-backed security works, right? So now, because as we know, actually, okay, so borrow. Borrowers, right? They can mortgage payments, right? Before I may actually use actually the lecture notes here. I want to use this one, right? This actually bunch of borrowers, right? Then actually investor. This is investor, right? This is mortgage-backed security. So now look, after the borrower gets the loan, right? Every month, the borrower will pay the bank, right? The bank collects the money, right? So now look, if the pool of the mortgage, for example, there is like thousands of pool of 1,000 mortgages, right? It's a bigger chunk of money, right? So every month you will receive the money, right? So now actually how the money distributed investor, right? That's the key, right? That's the key to define what kind of mortgage-backed security, right? So today we'll talk about the mortgage-backed security. It's so simple, right? Because like a pool of the mortgage, bunch of pool of mortgage, right? Every month the borrower pay, and the bank will collect the money, right? So the simplest one of mortgage-backed security is the bank collect the money, right? Because when they collect it, they will receive money, right? So we call it's a servicing fee, right? After the servicing fee, bank collect after the servicing fee, or Fannie Mae's guarantee fees, right? Then all the money will go to the investor. So this is the simplest one we call MPT. Mortgage just directly passes through security, right? So now if you look, another kind of person come in, right? Look, every borrower pays the mortgage, right? Because we know the mortgage payments, right? It can decompose into two parts. One is the principal, one is the interest part, right? So now actually we collect all the money after the servicing fee, right? Then actually, if we invest, I just distribute, when I distribute to investor, right? Because when I collect the money, all the money, mortgage payments, right? Either is principal or interest. Then I distribute, right? I also base this rule. If you invest in interest only strip, you will receive interest portion. If you invest in principal strip, then you will receive principal portion, right? So now it's like, if I directly pass through, I got one mortgage back, right? Because I know the mortgage payment is interest only, principal only, right? Then when I pass through, right? Two direction. One is principal, one is interest, right? Then the people invest in interest only, they will receive interest portion, right? So this we call IO, interest only strip, PO strip. This is the two basic, very simple ones. Then, how you distribute, when you collect the money, right? The borrower pays the money because they got the mortgage, every month they pay, right? So the money, how you distribute, when the rule of distribution of the cash you can design. So if you design one, you got one mortgage back security. So how to design? Then how to design, right? It's important, right? So now actually we will talk about next Monday. We'll talk about we call CMO. It's called capital obligation. What that means? I don't know why they call this name, right? For IO strip, PO strip, that's very straightforward. MPT, mortgage pass-through, it's all very straightforward. CMO, I cannot figure out what it means. But what does mean CMO, right? CMO means when they distribute the cash, when they collect the money after servicing or guarantee fee, right? How they distribute the cash flow. One group, chunky A group, they will receive money early. If you invest, they receive money early. Group B and C, right? They will receive later. Then after A receive, right? After A receive, B start receive more and more, and then C. So now actually like when cash distributed based certain rules, right? First group receive the cash in return more quickly than B. B receive the investment return more quickly than C, right? Then actually we call CMR. So we'll talk about next Monday. Right. So basically, like A, if you are interested in A, what does it mean? You are short-term investor because you will receive cash early, right? Because you come up with the rule, you design the rule, right? First group receive cash more early. That's actually target for the short-term investor. Then the next one group is mid-term investor. Then the cash, the return received later on, right? That's a long-term investor. So we'll talk about CMR. So not today's class, right? Okay, so now it's like how we can design multi-backer security because there are so many different multi-backer security, right? You just come up with some rules how you distribute it. You got an different kind of model, right? So now it's how we can price multi-backer security, right? That's time value money. That's the corporate finance, right? Because it's based on certain rules, right? If we know, because you know the cash flow. Borrower pay, if nobody, now here actually make a life very complex, I will talk about. Now for simplistic, everybody will not prepay. Everybody will not, no refinancing, no default, right? The market is very good, everybody stay in the house and keep paying the mortgage payment. So now the cash flow, you can exactly predict the future cash flow, right? So how you can price it? Pricing is present value of all your future cash flow, right? So that's it. So pricing mortgage back is so easy. If you know the future cash flow, right? You just discount it, add them together, present value of future cash flow. That's the corporate finance, right? But then why mortgage-backed security, now mortgage-backed security, pricing mortgage-backed security, that's a lot of people actually, working in Wall Street because they make maybe more than $150,000 or $200,000, right? Because why? Because predict future cash flow for the mortgage pool, right? It's not difficult. It's not easy. Can anybody tell me why?
Not everybody pays full term. There are people coming out or refinancing.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
So listen. Now actually the key is the cash flow. The money collected, right? How you can predict the future cash flow, right? So listen. For the mortgage, right? Whenever interest is going up and down, especially come down, right? Everybody refinance. Yeah, that's right. Then actually, the people actually now the money come, collect the money, right? If a lot of people actually, when interest coming down, right? Lots of people already just prepay, right? So suddenly you have, when interest comes down, suddenly there are lots of money. So you have to distribute, right? So cash flow is very uncertain, right? Interest will change, cash flow will change, the pattern will change, right? Another thing is, when holding market is bad, lots of default. Right? If a default, what the bank has? The house, right? Undervalued house, right? That's right. Because if the bank, because holding market, the local holding market is bad, then a lot of borrowers actually default. They walk away from the house. So now the investor, what does the investor have? The house. That's right. So you need to sell the house. So normally people default actually, you may not completely recover because why? The borrower default because home price is not worth as much as they owe the money to the bank, right? So that's why they walk away, right? So then actually it will affect the cash flow. That's right. So now actually look, how we can define the mortgage-backed security, right? It's easy. Basically how you distribute the cash flow, right? So now actually look, in terms of how cash flow come in, default, prepay, affected, right? So that's why force the mortgage. Look, because
Can you click up on I maybe? Yeah, to make it white. There you go.
Where is that located?
Meeting
Meeting in?
is that right? No.
Yeah, you can make it bigger on the bottom.
Oh, here.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to actually show you guys actually, because I was actually because I just very quickly, listen. The first sale, right? First sheet, I assume there are no default, no prepay, right? So the basic mortgage payment is easy, right? So the pricing of mortgage-backed security is just the present value of cash flow, future cash flow, right? It's quite easy, right? Then actually I talk about if interest comes down, there are 10% of prepay, right? So it will affect the price. So I will talk about go very detailed in a minute. I don't want to give you like an overview of, Then actually, if more prepay, right? Instead of 10% prepay, now it's 20% prepay, right? So the price is affected, right? Everything else is equal. Then actually, if there's default, right? So now default is if there are 10% default, for example, 10% default, right? Default, this is actually principle due to default because the money cannot be recovered. So now actually I have here is recovering rate. What does it mean? That means that if the investor sell the house, right, you can only recover 50% of this default value, right? So this number can change. You can change 0 to 80%, any number. So everything will change, right? So here actually look, for the mortgage-backed security, right? How we can pricing mortgage-backed security. First, we need to know how cash flow distribute. When you collect the money, how cash flow distribute, right? That's one. So if you design, come up with some rules, right? You have different kind of mortgage-backed security, right? So how we can price mortgage-backed security? It will affected by the prepayment and the default, right? Why prepayment? People prepay because they're refinancing. When interest coming down, a lot of people refinance, right? Why people default? Because how the market crash, it happens like in 2007 to 2010. right? Home price just not much, it was 50% drop, right? Then a lot of people default, right? So default actually, the money cannot recover. So this cash will affect, the invest, because the cash flow going into the investor will affect it by default and prepay, right? So if we know the cash flow, if we know the default rate, if we know the prepayment rate, we know the cash flow. If we know the cash flow, that's the applied time value minus sum of the present value of future payments, right? That's it, right? So, how many knows what is mortgage-backed security? How many knows how to price mortgage-backed security? How many knows why mortgage-backed security is so difficult to price, right? So I'm done. Now it's ready now. That's important. So mortgage-backed it's easy. If you really know time value money, right? That's future cash. If you know future cash flow, right? You just present value of future cash. That's it. The price is easy. That's right. So why is there so many different kind of mortgage-backed securities? Because the distribute. When you bank collect the money, how they designed to distribute, right? Different rules come up with different mortgage, right? So especially for the MPT ILPO, it's so simple, right? But for CML, it's very, very interesting. Why Fannie Mae when it created the mortgage-backed security, they make a lot of money because of CML. So next month you must come. Next month we'll talk about CML. Market make to make money. If directly passes through, you only get what? Or guaranteed nothing else. But the CML, right? You come up with something, everybody like it, right? Then the people who create this market, right? They make residuals, make money, right? So now there are lots of different kinds of mortgage-backed security, right? Basically, the rule of distribute the cash flow collected from the mortgage payments, right? It's different. Come up with different mortgage-backed security, right? So basically, that's it. So for you guys, I don't need to spend lots of time. Actually, now we not just go to detail, right? But the bigger picture, if you know exactly the essence of mortgage-backed security, right? That's it. So for me, actually, basically what you should do, actually, I just give you all the Excel for you just to go to look at the number. You will not get in. You got everything. Okay, so now actually I want to talk about, now we want to go to detail, right? So hopefully, mortgage-backed security, even though, I want to actually spend, initially I want to spend at least 2, last Monday's class and this Monday's class devote at least 2, mortgage-backed security. But I don't think you miss a lot, It's quite easy because for me actually I can really know mortgage. Now actually everybody understand mortgage, right? Mortgage part, all kind of mortgage, right? How many of you will learn something from this class about mortgage? I think you should be all expert on mortgage because you do such a good job in quiz, do such a good job in midterm exam, right? Because there are lots of materials, Now I want to go actually, go a little bit detail for the mortgage-backed security, right? So before I doing, so I want to actually, quickly go over through a few more slides. Okay, so first of all, what is the secondary mortgage market? I already told you guys, right? So I want to actually re-emphasize, secondary mortgage market is a market in which existing mortgages are bought and sold, right? The existing mortgage. Primary mortgage market is the mortgage created, originated, right? But the secondary mortgage market is the mortgage already existed, but bought and sold, right? That's the key. The seller mortgage originator, bank, thrift, mortgage bank, right? The buyer are secondary mortgage market like agencies such as Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, and the mortgage-backed security are issued based on the pool of the mortgage, right? So why does the secondary mortgage market? Market exist, right? Because in the introduction, in the first day of this class, right, I talk about in the United States, the government actually very strongly supports the home ownership, right? Because why? Because if owning a home, right, the kids more likely will become senior citizens in the future, right? As opposed to actually rent security, right? So that's why homeowner is important for the society, right? So that's why actually 1930s actually under Roosevelt, President Roosevelt actually created Fannie and Freddie, right? So secondary mortgage market actually mortgage company can replenish funds, right? With which new loan could be originated, right? So basically because secondary mortgage market, Fannie can unlimited supply the funds to the bank in Mississippi, right? All the borrower in Mississippi, if they have, they have good credentials, right? So what it means by good credentials, they are good citizens, right? Whenever they borrow money, they pay back, right? Not because of race, not because of gender, right? That actually is very, very serious. If not because of it, if I'm Asian, right, I cannot get the loan. No, that's against the law, right? But if you, everybody in Mississippi, in anywhere in this country, right, if you want to borrow money, if you're a good citizen, you have decent income, and you borrow money, or you have a good high credit score, that means you borrow money, you always pay back on time, right? Then you will get the money, right? That's actually the government actually, everybody, if you're a good citizen, you want to borrow money, you want to own a home, right? The money is there for you, right? So secondary mortgage market, right? Basically, the U.S. government, right, use Fannie Mae's actually, Fannie Mae's is a vehicle, right, to borrow money from international investors, right, and use that money, lend the money to what? To actually American, the people who live in the United States. So that's it. So now actually, because of secondary mortgage market, right, facilitate the geographic flow of funds, right? So secondary market help to facilitate the sales mortgage and the create liquidity. So now actually, I just want to actually give a very big overview before I talk about how we can price, right? How we can look at each numbers, right? I want to give you an overview of the mortgage-backed security. So evolution of the secondary mortgage market and the concept of the security, that's already touched. Size of MBS, the mortgage-backed. This is very important. So I want to show you, how big the mortgage-backed security is, right? When I see the number, it really surprised me. You will see. Okay, so I already touched actually. There are several factors that influence the evolution of mortgage-backed security over time, right? So banks have a need that they could sell mortgage and replenish funds with which new loan can be issued, right? There is also a need for a market mechanism to facilitate a geographic flow of funds, right? The federal government encourages home ownership. Then actually, how actually the mortgage-backed issue, right? So as I said, right, the borrower got the money, right? Every month they pay. So the bank collected the money, right, from the borrowers, right? So now lots of money the bank collected, right? Then actually, this is big chunk of money, right? So back by then actually mortgage come out, right? Because if they are value, why the company has value? Because they generate cash. Facebook, right? So that's why the security issued by Facebook or called Facebook stock, right, is value. Same thing. The lender collected the money, right, is value, right? So any security backed by this pool of the mortgage, of course, is value, right? So that's.
Is the lender in that? Are you referring to the bank or the same bank?
The lender actually is basically you can actually can go basically if can be actually purely lenders. So if normally lender bigger like a bank, right? They actually they can hold the pool for the mortgage. They can create mortgage-backed security based on sales and sales. Or normally actually the lender, right? Still here is the lender. Get the money from Fannie Mae, right? Then sell the mortgage to Fannie Mae. So Fannie Mae is the player here. The lender here actually, yeah, that's actually an excellent question.
Instead, we need to make the servicing fee and make the lease.
No, actually, the lender will receive it, or bank will receive a servicing fee, but Fannie will get a guarantee. Yeah, guarantee. Fannie will basically like an insure. So Fannie will get some basis points for that. Right. Okay. So now actually here, right? Why lender can be actually the bigger bank without Fannie Mae involved, right? They can actually create a mortgage skill, the direct sale to Wall Street. But most of the mortgage actually came from Fannie or Freddie, right? So now actually, like, for example, actually like a small bank, right? Sell the pool of the mortgage, right? They collect the money. Fannie cannot collect the money. Fannie and Freddie Mac only have like 5,000 or 6,000 employees. They cannot have, and the government not allow them to collect the money, right? So now the bank actually why the service they will receive service.
Do they get government money because they generate their own?
No, actually,
Self-funded.
self-funded. Yes. Yes, Fannie actually like when Fannie created, that's actually perfect company. But Fannie actually created by a Congress, bunch of Congress during 1930. So they have mission. So a lot of Wall Street people, right? When I work in Fannie Mae, because especially when I joined Fannie Mae 2002, and everyone tell me, you are working in the best company in the entire world. But the Wall Street people do not like it. You know why? Because Fannie can implicitly guarantee by the government. Fannie Mae will never do. Right? Well, no default. So for me, when I work in Fannie Mae, I can tell you, I'm actually is outperformer. What means outperformer? I'm working very well. Very well, and my manager is like me very much, right? And because of me, he promoted a few times, very frequently, because I do such a good job, right, in Fannie Mae. But when I work in Fannie Mae, I feel, right, every day, I only spend at the most 1 hour. I'm like the outperformer, I perform very well, right? But I spend 1 hour a week. Almost every day I'm in gym. I was in gym. If anyway, we encourage you to go to gym. So I swim, they spend 2 hours, right? Because for me, actually, I'm very efficient. 1 hour at most. So for me, actually, I tell my manager, right, why every day I need to come here? I can work from home, right? But they even not allowed. No, my manager allow me to, every week or maybe 1 or 2 days, right? But for me, actually, every day should do this, right? But the Fannie Mae, like, because the government money, for me, actually, the Fannie is traded company. It's private. Used to be actually before 2008. Actually, it's traded company. You can purchase Fannie Mae stock, right? It's a private company. But that Wall Street are not like it because Fannie, when created Fannie Mae, right? Basically, the government actually kind of guarantee they will never fail. But in fact, it's right. In 2008, right? Because the housing price goes to the south so quickly. So Fannie should be bankrupt, right? But the government take over. That's right. But for me, actually, I work in Fannie Mae 7 years. I feel, you really feel, this is the best company because every Fannie employee, their salary is very high.
What do you think about the idea of privatization?
I think I should.
They should.
Yes. For me, actually, I fully support. Everything should be privatized. If a government involved, right, bureaucrat, then wait. So for me, yes, privatize is the best way. That's actually, I strongly support, small government. That actually is always good because, when I was in Fannie Mae, right, I worked until 2009, right. 2008, Fannie Mae actually, the government took over, right. In our salary, we don't have much job, but our salary increased. Because money came from where? Taxpayer. After 2008, government took over, right. Every year our salary increased much more. Because of money. Now actually, look, Fannie, have government actually take over, right. The money is unlimited. Taxpayers' money is unlimited. Right? So that's why I don't for me actually, everything, if government involved, right? Nothing. In a plus, everybody knows Federal Reserve, right? Federal Reserve. I have because a lot of my friends actually, they're economists, right? So they graduated got a PhD from school. Then actually if they cannot find a good academic job, they go to where? The Federal Reserve. Because they pay them. They don't have much work. But then the thing is they have to go to work every day. But then the work they do, right? Basically all their own work. They're like papers, right? But the salary is incredibly high, right? Because why? Because the money income is easy. So for me, they should not, they get too much money, the people who work in Federal Reserve like as economists, Because somebody told me actually, now if Federal Reserve, if you just graduate from like a school and got a PhD in economics, you can easily get maybe at least $160,000. That's not bad, right? But because 10% they work for the government, 90% they can raise papers, right? Because the money, the government money is easy to get, right? So that's why. But private is never do. So for me, actually, privatize is much more efficient. Okay, so now actually this actually basically, why mortgage back, why issue security? Because the poor mortgage they are very, right? So next one, actually, mortgage company can benefit of mortgage-backed security because everybody already know it, right? Mortgage company can have funds, unlimited funds, right? Because of mortgage-backed security. Where came from? The money came from Wall Street, right? The investors. Investors think, wow, this mortgage-backed security is a good investment vehicle, right? They dump the money, they purchase the mortgage-backed security, right? So the bank or the Fannie Mae, they got the money, right, from the investors. Then actually they can give the money to the bank, and the bank lends the money to the borrowers, right? If the borrower has a good credential, then actually facilitate actually geographical flow of funds, right? So here is different type of mortgage-backed security, right? As I mentioned, one is the MPT, basically mortgage pass through directly after servicing fee. When the bank collects the money, right? Get rid of the servicing fee or other fees, then directly pass to the investor, right? This is actual MPT. That's the simplest one. Then actually we have IOPO script because any mortgage payment you can always decompose in two parts, interest only or PO, right? So when you distribute it, you based on interest only portion and then principal portion, right? So that's we have another type of mortgage-backed security, right? Then we have also CMO, right? So CMO is much more complex. There are some rules. One type of investor receive money early. A second group of investor receive after the first group receive money, then second group of investor. Then third group of investor, right, they receive the money later. So basically, CMO is targeted to different kind of investor. One is short-term investor, one is medium investor, one is actually long-term investor, right? So different type of mortgage-backed security can actually meet different investor needs, right? So now the next one I want to talk about mortgage-backed security. What is the size of mortgage-backed security, right? So I know actually in 2006 or 2004, because housing market is so good, right? So I know 6.9 trillion. The other U.S. mortgage-backed security is the biggest, right? But then after the housing crisis, I thought that the mortgage-backed security should be wiped out, right? But in 2009, Q2, that's almost it is the end of the housing crisis, right? And the U.S. mortgage-backed is still 8.9 trillion, right? It's the largest group among U.S. Treasury and U.S. corporate, right? So some of it, if you want to work in Wall Street, right? Wall Street, right? Basically, mortgage-backed security is the people actually, that actually is very different compared with actually, real estate rules, right? So real estate finance, this class actually can help you actually, pricing mortgage is not difficult. Basically, you need to predict what the future cash flow. collected from the mortgage payments, right? If you can do this good job, pricing is easy. Just Excel is good enough. Use Excel. Use the template I gave to you, good enough. So pricing mortgage maker is not difficult, really not difficult. So for you guys, actually, so this course, like this lecture is very important, right? Because such large mortgage maker is the largest asset class, right? So they need a lot of people to tickle, right? So that's why there are lots of demand, right, for this knowledge. Yes.
Did other countries buy mortgage-backed securities after the housing crisis?
That's actually, I don't have the numbers. But it will affect a lot, It used to be China pushed a lot of mortgage-backed securities, but China actually, it's Chinese government. And when Bush, Second Bush was in power during that time, right? Chinese government, I heard actually, Chinese government actually, during the former Chinese president told actually George Bush, you need actually, you need to don't let Fannie Mae bankrupt, right? But for me actually, not because of China, plus President Bush, right? Because I think 2008, I was in Fannie Mae, and what President Bush actually did, take over. That's the best. That's it. Otherwise, we still in the crisis. It's just right to say, take over.
What's the difference between the Fannie Mae and Ginnie?
Oh, Ginnie Mae, that's actually an excellent question. Ginnie Mae actually kind of like much smaller. That's government, right? More related to government. Government mortgage. But Fannie Freddie make a more kind of a medium, low income, more broad, right? So in terms of assets, it's Ginnie Mae just very tiny, but the Fannie Freddie make a much bigger.
But they're backed by the full faith and credit of the U.S. government.
Yes. Ginnie Mae, right?
Yeah.
But Fannie Freddie Mae increases also. Yeah. But not the rate. But Ginnie Mae actually is you written, right? Back with the government. But much more small. Fannie Freddie Mac, when I was there actually, the mortgage originated by Fannie Freddie Mac, I think the market share is more than 60%. All the mortgage originated by Fannie Freddie Mac combined, right? About more than 2/3, create. But if they are bankrupt, right? Actually, housing market just gone. So the government did it because it's too large, too big, right? That's okay. So now if you look, mortgage security holding by this is by invest type, right? In 2002. So now you can see mortgage-backed security, right? Foreign investor about 15%. United U.S. like a mortgage-backed security, right? 15%. Hold by the agency, Fannie Freddie Mac. That's agency more. It's Fannie Freddie Mac, like a 1/3 of their own, Fannie own, right? Then the bank own like 24%, life insurance company 11%, and pension fund 9%. Right? That's roughly. That's in 2002 data, but now may change, right? But actually roughly.
What are agencies?
Agencies actually Fannie Freddie Mac mostly.
Oh.
Yes.
Do they finance themselves to lend?
What means finance?
So they buy their own securities, right? So finance.
Yes.
So with those earnings, they lend again, right?
Basically, if 30% of mortgage is owned by Fannie Mae, right?
Yeah.
Basically, all the cash they collect out the servicing fee, again, yes.
Yeah, and then they lend again.
Yes, then you will get it. Yes. That's exactly right.
Are those the residuals that you were talking about that they keep?
No. That's different. That's actually, here is 32%, right? That's actually the actual says, the mortgage is owned by Fannie Mae. So what Fannie will receive, because the bank will receive lots of the mortgage payments, right? So after the fee, Fannie will, all the cash will go to Fannie Mae. That's actually, if you hold the mortgage security, what that means?
You haven't sold to an investor.
No, you hold the mortgage-backed security like you means you have mortgage-backed security. What it means? You claim the cash flow. You claim the cash flow. So basically, if the pool of the mortgage, right? Pool of the mortgage, if I own completely, right? That means the bank collects the money after servicing fee. The money all goes to me because I own the mortgage. Yes. So if you own the security, you have the right to claim the cash flow after servicing fee, right? Okay. Say it again. That's actually, can anybody tell me? That's 8%.
They're getting money
I have no idea actually what they actually. Yeah.
all these other people.
Okay, so pension fund, life insurance, bank. Look, affording. Look, because mortgage-backed security I can purchase, right? There's one for individual, right? Individual can be one part of it, right? Yes. That's like good, excellent question. Okay, so now one more. So risk in mortgage-backed security I already talked about, right? Look at neither monthly payments nor actual maturity is certain. So can anybody tell me why? Neither monthly payment is not certain. Can anybody tell me why? If prepay, the cash comes early, right? Is that right? Then actual maturity. Look, if the mortgage, the pool of the mortgage also 3 years, but the interest comes down, right? Lots of people prepay. Then the maturity shows. Is that right? Because if you keep it, if you have 30 years mortgage, if you every month you keep it, let the loan outstanding, right? Then the maturity will be 30 years. But a lot of people say when it comes down, they prepay, right? Prepay, if they already pay 5 years, after 5 years they want to actually refinance. What does it mean? So now the maturity is how many years? Instead of 30 years, now it's only 5 years, right? So maturity is not certain. And the monthly payment also not certain. Because if lots of people say they not prepay or default, right? So the payment is not it was affected by all these factors, right? So prepayment default risk is a major source of the risk. So that's why when we pricing mortgage-backed security, right, just two risks we need to take into account. So in the example we'll talk about this, right? So cash flow of a mortgage-backed security depends on cash flow of underlying mortgage. Prepayment and default bring uncertainty to the cash flow of mortgage-backed security, right? Okay, so now can we talk about real example? So here actually I want to, because when I will talk about real example, I want to make things as simple as possible, right? I look at the good things, right? In the final exam, you have to extend it. Because here, I just look. The good thing, right? I only have 5 years. Because I can put everything. It's very nice. 1 page, right? But what you should do? You should extend what? 30 and 360. That's the final exam. That's what you should do. Right? So I will walk you through with each series, right, today. Right? But it's quite easy. Right? So now I just want to make life easier. The loan, the Green Bank originated a pool of containing 105 years fixed rate mortgage with an average balance of $125,000 each. All mortgages in the pool carry a rate of 6% with any payment. So the mortgage is 5 years and with any payments, right? And the interest is 6%. So the guarantee fee, the guarantee and service fee is 0.5%. The Greenback would like to sell the pool to Fannie Mae, and Fannie Mae will sell the pool via MPT. Basically, then after fee, Fannie will get some guarantee fee. It's called a G fee, right? And the Greenback will collect some servicing fee. So we assume combined together is 0.5%. Fannie just sell to like an investor. Assume that Fannie Mae will issue 150,000 shares of MPT security, and there are no prepayment and no default. No prepay, no default, right, for the borrower, right? So now it's like, can anybody tell me? Now it's we can use 5-piece method to solve it, right? Can anybody tell me how much money The first year, how much money the bank will collect? Okay. 5 kids method, right? Anybody, n is equal to what? N. 5. Interest rate? 6. Present value?
125,000.
Yes. 125,000 multiplied by 100. Right? That's right. Because look, you have 100
Yeah.
multiplied by each 125,000 multiplied by 100. Because the pool of the mortgage is 100. Right?
Is the 6%? Okay, 6
Yes.
divided by 12 is
No.
No.
Don't divide by 12 because it's any payment.
90, okay.
Okay. So can you tell me what is the bank will collect the money? How much is the bank will collect the money? Now actually look, if I will use 5 kids method, right, it's quite easy. 5 kids method, n will be 5, interest will be 6, and the principal value will be 125,000 multiplied by 100. Right? Then we compute payments. So it will pay 2,967,455 1 pen. Is that right? So how much money will go to the investor? Because now it's look, remember, because 0.5% you need to get rid of. So you have to multiply by 99.5%. Is that right? Okay. So multiply by 0.995. How much money? You will get, the investor will receive how much? 2952617, right? So now you look, if you purchase 1 share, how much money you get? So divide by total money the investor will receive, divide by 150,000 shares, right? So that's will be each share you will receive. So if you do correctly, it will be $19.68, right? So that's the first year. Anybody can see that? How about second year? No. Look, now look, for the servicing fee, right? It's based on balance. Look, or actually, the way that we calculate is not right, not exactly right. You know why? Because look, if you have a large pool of the mortgage, right, the servicing fee will be more. So more, this 0.5% is always against on the loan amount. But when time goes by, right, your loan amount is shrink because some you pay off the principal. You amortize, partially amortize. So your loan amount is decreased, right? So the service fee will be different, or decrease too. So servicing fee always, what's the beginning balance? Multiple by the 0.5%. Next year's outstanding loan balance drops another 0.5%. Then actually the service fee actually decrease, right? Yeah, so that's why.
They have to go P1 and then P2.
Yeah, that's why 5 kids method may not work well, right? So the good things, let's go to Excel. Okay, but the first number, everybody got these numbers, right?
Yep.
Look, we assume there are no prepayments, so all there, right? So now actually this payment will be the same. Because everybody paid the mortgage payment, yes.
Is this the first,
Yeah.
yes? Okay. First tab in Excel, because I don't see it on the bottom.
Oh,
But yes, it is.
yes, yeah, because the simplest will always come first. Okay, so this is right? So now look, total principal, because look, I use this Excel, it applies to all kind of conditions. So because this is total principal and the interest payment to the issuer, right? Is B plus C. Oh, now actually look, then a guaranteed servicing fee, right? 0.5%. So what does it mean? Look, 125,000, because at the beginning, right, $125,000, no, 12.5 million, multiplied by 5%. Right? So be careful. Servicing fee, right? Servicing fee always based on the loan balance. If you bigger loan balance, service more, right? So even though the percentage of servicing fee is the same, 0.5%, right? But then you can see at the beginning, right, you have $62,000, $62,000, but it is the last period only $13,000. Why? Because the loan balance is dropped. It's affect, right? The fee actually charges 0.5%, but because the service fee is determined both by the 0.5% and the loan balance, right? So this number multiplied by 0.5% equals this number. This number multiplied by 0.5% equals the secondary servicing, right? But when the money collected, if there's no default, no prepayment, the money collected every month will be the same. But because the servicing fee dropped, the bank receives the servicing fee, or because you guarantee smaller amount over time, right? So that's why you serve smaller amount of time, right? Smaller amount of the loan balance, right? So that the servicing fee shrink every year, right? That's why investor will receive more money over time, right? So now you can see it's first year $19 if you invest one share, right? This number divided by $150,000, you will get this number, right? Anybody can see that? So the number actually, the investor will receive more and more money. Because why? Because the service is dropped.
Is there any time where a bank might outsource the servicing to another company that does the servicing, or will they always do the servicing in-house?
Such actually, because servicing actually you can, if you have a manpower, right? Yeah, you make money. Yeah. So I don't know why actually, you don't want to do this, right?
There is. I've encountered that they do sell their servicing because they want to minimize the risk of that borrower's default. So I've seen that.
You mean sale?
So the bank, like say Bank of America, sells it to another servicing agency that will cover the payment is going to go to the
another bank.
Yes.
But then the money actually was collected by another bank.
Right.
Right.
So exactly.
Okay. So.
Private entity as well.
But normally the service fee actually the percentage is fixed normally, right? So some banks think they worth more than their human power worth more than actual servicing fee, right? They will not do so. They may be yeah. So that's quite easy, right, for this one, right? Any question for this one? No question, right? So now it's like if you invest in one share of like a security, right? So because this is security is 5 years, so the present value of your future cash flow, right? So now actually you can calculate, right? So now actually if I go to actually Excel, right? Because I already posted in Excel in our course website, I just want to show you. So how actually I make it? Can you see it? You cannot see it, right?
I do. I have it here.
Okay. So look, this is look. If no look, because in the question I ask you guys actually, when the discount rate, look, there are 3 discount rate, 4.5, 5.5, 6.5, right? So if getting the same like future cash flow, higher discount rate, price what? Price. Because we have different cash. Say it again. Yes. Right? Yeah. So why? Why higher discount rate? Same cash flow, higher discount, price will be low. Can anybody tell me why?
For the lowest interest rate now.
What means discount from corporate finance? Discount rate means required return. If one intern tell you, right, I want higher required return. So when you sell something to him, right, he need a higher required return. He will offer the price. That's why he can get a higher return. Same amount, right? So that's the thing. So you always see, if the discount or the quality is higher, right, the price will be low. So that's exactly right? So it's easy, right? So I'm done actually for the most simplistic one. So now the next one I want to talk about, I talk about you know, in real world, right? No prepay, no default is very unlikely, right? So now actually we need actually the next scenario we want to talk about, you know, if there is prepayment. We just one by one. Then we can combine together, right? Go always simplest one first. Now actually assume there is 10% default, prepayment, right? So now actually, if there are prepayment, then make life much difficult, right? So can you tell me, if there are prepayment, right? So now what's the total cash flow? The bank will collect. Can you tell me? If there is prepayment, some certain type of borrower, right, they prepay. So now actually, because for investor only cares what? How much money total the bank will collect, right? Get it as servicing. So now can you tell me? Now actually the cash flow came from two parts. One is the people who prepay. They just put the money to you, pay off all the loan, right? That's we know 10%. Another group of people, they just keep a mortgage payment, right? Anybody can see that? So now actually we have two cash flow. The two kinds of cash flow from the mortgage payments, right? One group of people just pay off all the loan, right? This is one, 10%. Another group of people, right? They just mortgage payment, right? So now actually look at in Excel, right? The good thing for Excel, right? Look at here. I have look at two colors. One group of people just prepayment. Another group of people mortgage payment, right? These two together become what? The bank, the total money the bank will collect. Then after servicing fee, right, you get, right? So now can anybody tell me how you complete the principal due to the prepayment? It's easy, right? What means prepay? 10%? 10% means if in period one, right? Initially you have 12.5 million loan, right? 10% of it prepay. How about this guy? This guy can, it seems same. This guy, look. This group of people, right? No, this is total loan, mortgage payment. Based on this loan, mortgage payment. Then 10% of this mortgage. Look, this number, right? So here actually, you know, we assume. Anybody can see that? 2967455501. 2967455501. What that means? So basically, this mortgage payment is based on one total amount, right? So now actually, look, whenever I ask you guys actually, you know, just actually we just assume, right? You know, if there are prepayment, one payment 10% of the beginning loan balance will go prepayment. Then this mortgage payment was based on the beginning balance, right? So this plus this will become total cash flow the bank will collect minus servicing fee. Servicing fee always 0.5% of beginning balance, right? Then this will go to the investor. Then divide 150,000 shares, right? 27.7 become first year's cash flow. So we do the same thing. So now how you can get this number? Can you tell me how you can come up with this number?
You subtract.
Wait. Okay. The beginning balance minus what?
Minus the total principal and interest that the issuer is getting.
So minus
4.2.
No. Beginning balance minus 20.
The total principal and interest that
The payments to the issuer.
No. Now listen. Okay. Prepayment is principal, right? Prepayment is principal payment. So beginning balance minus principal. That's for sure. Then minus this, you cannot minus this guy. This guy, because this guy is a combination of principal and interest. So now you need to calculate what's the interest portion is for this guy.
Subtract.
Okay. So now look out. This minus this guy. Minus minus balances. Yes. Minus, what's the interest rate? 6% multiplied by 12. Is that right?
That's not what you have in your.
That's not how you did it in Excel.
You did the principal balance, which is 12.
Oh, you already know it.
You subtracted the total principal, which is 4.2. Then you added
Yes, sir.
The principal to
Yeah.
the street.
Because then you already say it's same thing.
The more rate.
Yes.
It's the same thing, but I guess it's easier doing it this way. You just subtract.
No, it's when look here, like the formula I did, like it's I maybe go one step further. But initially, look, the beginning balance minus the prepayment minus the mortgage payments, the difference of mortgage payments and the interest portion, right? Yes. Or you can use this formula I did. Did I do right? Right.
Formula in Excel.
Yeah, but you know, because of what's the ending balance compared with the beginning balance, right? Because you need to subtract all the principal payments. Principal payments, right? The prepayment is they just didn't subtract. But the mortgage payment, there is an interest portion. So you need to get rid of interest portion, right? So that's the key, right? So what I did here is actually, look, if I click this guy, beginning balance, right? Minus total, right? Then I plus interest portion. Is that right? That's what I did, right? Is that right? Look, that's actually the same thing. What I did here, right? Beginning balance minus the total. Unfortunately, this total, right, including interest. I add interest. Because I subtract this guy too much. Because I should not subtract interest, right? So adding interest back. So look at BAT multiplied by E7. That's interest portion. When I beginning balance minus the total cash, because I deduct too much, because I should not deduct the interest portion. So but you adding back the interest portion, right? That's anybody can see that?
Yeah.
Right? So now it's everything same. We know the cash flow. So now look, this is the new value of the complex security, right? MPT. And if there is 10% prepayment, right? So now you can compare with. So can anybody tell me 5.5 is saying cash flow regardless discount rate. But when actually, if your liquidity return higher, what's the price? Which direction the price will go? Increase. Why? So if your discount rate, if your discount rate is high, right?
You're going to pay less.
If you would like to receive the cash flow early, is that right? Early better. So that's exactly right. Because look, with 10% prepayment, right? You got $81.43. But no prepayment, $81.09, right? So this value is higher. Why? Because when your liquidity return is higher, that means early money much better than future money. Receive early money better. That's why the price is higher. But if your discount is lower, right? The opposite is true. Right? Future money. Because look, if you future money, well, you will receive more. So now you can see higher discount rate, prepayment help the price. Right? Lower discount rate, the prepayment hurt. That's the rule. Right? So we'll come back. Actually, now it's dinner time. We'll come back actually, for other like a if we next one we'll cut if the prepayment.